The Galactic Council chamber fell into absolute silence as the translation matrix completed its work. Ambassador Vexter of the Krunian Empire stared at the holographic display, his three eyes widening in what could only be described as existential dread. "This cannot be correct," he whispered, his translator struggling to convey the tremor in his voice. Charlotte Reynolds sat calmly in the human delegations, her fingers drumming a patient rhythm on the armrest. Beside her, Daniel Park maintained his diplomatic smile, though his eyes betrayed his curiosity at the sudden shift in atmosphere. They had come to the council as representatives of Earth, the newly discovered world seeking membership in the galactic community. The process was supposed to be routine: present their planet's designation, undergo evaluation, receive conditional membership. Simple, but nothing about the council's reaction suggested simplicity. "Councillor Vexter," Charlotte ventured, her voice cutting through the stunned silence. "Is there a problem with our application?" The Krunian's mandibles clicked nervously. Around the circular chamber, representatives from dozens of species exchanged glances that ranged from disbelief to outright terror. The Zetherian delegate had gone completely pale, her bioluminescent skin dimming to near darkness. "Your planet's name," Vexter finally managed. "In the old tongue, in the language of the precursors. You call it Earth. But do you know what that word actually means?" Daniel leaned forward. "It's just our word for ground, soil, the land we stand on. Nothing special." "Nothing special," repeated Councillor Zhir of the Confederation, her voice hollow. "Humans, do you have any idea what you've done? What your ancestors named your world?" Charlotte exchanged a glance with Daniel. They'd prepared for political complications, trade disputes, even potential conflicts over resources. But panic over a name. This was unprecedented. "Perhaps," Charlotte said carefully, "you could explain the significance." Vexter activated another hologram. Ancient symbols flickered into existence, rotating slowly in the chamber's center. They were unlike anything Charlotte had seen, then old, carrying a weight that seemed to bend space itself around them. 15 million years ago, Vexter began, his voice taking on the cadence of a history lesson delivered 1,000 times. The precursors dominated this galaxy. They were the first, the eldest, the most powerful civilization to ever exist. They seeded worlds, guided evolution, and established the fundamental laws that governed interstellar society. "We know the legends," Daniel interjected. "Every species has stories about them." "Stories, yes, but what you don't know, what no one outside this council knows, is that the precursors had a protocol, a contingency." Vexter's eyes fixed on the humans. They knew they would eventually fade, that their time would pass. So they planted seeds. Dozens of worlds, scattered across the galaxy, each one encoded with a specific designation, a true name. Charlotte felt her pulse quicken. "And Earth is one of these worlds. Not just one of them." Zhir's voice was barely a whisper. "Earth's true name, in the precursor language, translates to the final garden. More specifically, the place where the last ones sleep until the garden burns." The silence that followed was deafening. "The precursors," Vexter continued, "left instructions, warnings, prophecies, if you believe in such things. They said that when the species from the final garden emerged and spoke their true name to the stars, it would signal the beginning of the end cycle." Daniel laughed, a short, sharp sound that echoed uncomfortably in the vast chamber. "You're panicking because of an ancient prophecy. Come on, we're just humans. We barely figured out faster than light travel last century." "Barely figured out." Councillor Tharzan of the Militant Reaches stood, his massive frame dominating his section of the chamber. "You developed FTL technology in 53 years. It took my people 4,000. The Krunians took 12,000. The fastest previous record was the Zetherians, at 800 years. Charlotte's mind raced. "That's just, we're persistent. Creative. We had to be. Our world wasn't easy. Your world wasn't easy." Vexter interrupted, pulling up more data, "because it was designed not to be. Look at this." Images of Earth appeared, its violent weather patterns, its unstable tectonic plates, its extinction events, its predators, its diseases. The final garden was engineered to be the harshest training ground in the galaxy. A crucible world. You're saying our entire planet was designed to, what? Make us tough? Daniel's skepticism was evident. "To make you survivors," Jara said. "To make you adapt, innovate, and refuse to give up no matter the odds." The precursors knew that when their children finally awoke, they would need to be ready for what's coming. Charlotte stood, her diplomatic training warring with a growing sense of unreality. "What's coming? What are you all so afraid of?" Vexler's expression was grim. We don't know. The precursor records are incomplete. But they were explicit. When the final garden speaks its name, the sleepers wake, and the true purpose of this galaxy will be revealed. Whatever they prepared you for, whatever threat they saw coming across the eons. He paused, looking at Charlotte and Daniel with an expression that mixed fear and desperate hope. You're supposed to stop it. Daniel barked a laugh, though it sounded forced. No pressure then. Charlotte's mind was already working through the implications. Humanity had stumbled onto the galactic stage, thinking themselves newcomers, children among ancient civilizations. But if the Council was right, if this wasn't just superstition, so what happens now? She asked. Vexler deactivated the holograms, and the chamber lights normalized. When he spoke again, his voice carried the weight of decision. Now we vote on your membership application. And then, he looked directly at Charlotte. We pray that whatever your species was created to do, you're ready to do it. Because according to precursor timelines, we have perhaps a decade before their predictions come to pass. And if we fail? Daniel asked quietly. ZHRAS bioluminescence flickered once a gesture. Charlotte would later learn signified finality among her people. Then the precursors wasted 15 million years preparing a garden that will never bloom. Charlotte looked at Daniel, seeing her own mix of determination and disbelief reflected in his eyes. Humanity had always been good at one thing: surviving the impossible. If that was what the universe needed, well, they'd give it hell. The vote was unanimous.